cost of the AI boom and who exactly would pay for it?
Those are questions to be asked now that Tucson's mayor and city council has rejected Project Blue. In a newsletter, Ward 4 council member Nikki Lee says the data center could still move forward.
Lee writes, quote, "I had an open and direct conversation with the Project Blue team. The reality is this: Project Blue will be built in the Tucson metropolitan area regardless of what the city of Tucson decides. I was told directly that this company came into our community with multiple options already identified."
Chief investigative reporter Valerie Cavazos took a deep dive into Project Blue and these massive data centers before today's city council vote.
The plan took many by surprise, and it's taking heat because of it. As we discovered, it comes down to this: impact and trust.
Project Blue emerged quietly under a shroud of secrecy. Key details of the deal concealed for a few years because of an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement.
They're in place because this is an extraordinarily competitive industry.
But the secrecy sparked scrutiny about the true resource demands of the cloud computing giant. Wanting more answers, public criticism intensified as the project moved forward after the Pima County Board approved the sale and rezoning of the county land.
In hindsight, would you have wanted to see this go differently?
Yes, and I think there were lessons learned by Tucson Water, by Tucson Electric Power, and by the developer in terms of what was shared with the board and what has to be shared moving forward with mayor and council.
We now know Amazon is behind Project Blue because the information was accidentally leaked. And that's important because Amazon is building hyperscale data centers that are known to need significant firepower. The plan is to build one here.
These hyperscalers house thousands of servers designed to handle massive amounts of data and traffic. To put the power demand into perspective, in the first phase, the data center requires 300 megawatts daily to run efficiently. Think of a Target or a Walmart supercenter. They only use 1 megawatt of power, so that's 300 of those.
So it's a very large load.
Kelly Barr is the Chief Alliance Officer with Global Futures Laboratory, located on the ASU campus. The team has been examining the impact of the data centers that have flooded the Phoenix region, now about 140. They've already pushed the power grid to its limit, especially during summer peaks.
Not all of these data centers that are in these queues are going to be built. But I think it makes sense for us to think together about which one should be built.
Tucson has taken note.
There are a lot of cities in the valley and town of Marana, even our neighbor, have already established some ground rules around data centers. We're actually on the very front end of it, where this is really our first hyperscale mega data center to come to Tucson.
This is a high learning curve.
It's a high, steep learning curve, and it's moving at hyper speed.
Sometimes what we have discovered in our work at ASU is that there's a mismatch in the timing. So, for example, we have heard from data centers, they need to move quickly. That, there's this huge growth that they need to be responsive to, and they want to very quickly locate and get these things operational.
So hard questions, she says, need to be asked.
And each community will have to evaluate those challenges and do that balancing for themselves.
Hyperscale data centers consume massive amounts of electricity, generating intense heat that can shut down servers within minutes. So they require sophisticated water-based cooling systems, from evaporative, which uses more water, to dry cooling, which uses less. Last year, Amazon announced a shift to liquid cooling for its AI systems, which uses little or no water.
Do you know what type of cooling system that they're using?
We do not know the exact technology that they'd be using.
Isn't that important, though?
What's important is to know how much water they need and how much energy they need, and that is what is known to the city.
To put the water use into perspective, in the initial phase of Project Blue, the daily water use would be equivalent to one golf course in Tucson.
It's about the same water use as about 1,800 homes. The amount of water that it is demanding is significant.
Without knowing the exact cooling system for Project Blue, the city would have to rely on the word of the developer, Beale Infrastructure, which doesn't have a track record. So the city would have needed to trust it would make good on its promise to replace every drop of water it uses. It didn't happen this time. not with mayor and council.
Little bit of surprised at the magnitude and the emotional behind it, but not at all surprised at Tucson's care, that Tucson's are very concerned about their water security. They're very concerned about climate action and potential impacts and their quality of life.
Valerie Cavazos, 13 Investigates.